Hello from Port Meirion in Wales. This fairy tale tourist village is inspired by the architecture of the Italian Riviera, and today is the setting for a truly fantastical artistic showdown. Benvenuto to il gran finale of Landscape Artist of the Year. Over the course of one long hot summer, we've put the creativity of 48 talented artists to the test.
We're using pencil,
everything,
blood,
mixed media,
sweat, tears.
Given views of outstanding natural beauty, speed, and exhilaration.
Have you painted horses before?
Never.
They've had to create landscapes under the pressure of time.
Craigie, my leggy.
And at the mercy of the elements. Just 3 emerged victorious.
Campbell, Notman.
Helen Lloyd-Elliott.
Stefano Ronchi.
And now they face their final challenge.
I'd normally try and find something much easier to paint. I wouldn't actually choose this.
All in the hope of winning this year's grand prize, a £10,000 commission for Royal Museums Greenwich to create a painting inspired by Dutch fathers of seascapes, the Van der Velders. As well as today's 4-hour painting, they'll be judged on a commission landscape completed over the course of a week. Ultimately, their fate lies in the hands of our 3 judges.
I mean, we don't just want to see 3 finished, good paintings today. We're basically looking for 3 masterpieces.
So get comfortable and settle in for the grand final. The winner of Landscape Artist of the Year is... Joining us at Port Meirion today are our 3 finalists. Italian artist Stefano Ronchi, Campbell Notman from Norfolk, and Helen Lloyd-Elliott from Dorset.
Today is the final, which is, yes, amazing to be here.
Now we are just in 3, so I have like 1/3 of the chance. So I feel even more competitive.
It's been an absolute whirlwind, possibly the greatest opportunity in my artistic life.
Here we go. That is...
Wow, look at this. So much colour.
I'm not sure about the plants.
Today we've placed our finalists in a landscape like no other. The weird and wonderful village of Port Meirion in Wales, with its eclectic mix of architectural styles, is built into the rock, overlooking the Dwirid estuary. Faced with all the complex shapes and vivid colours, the artists will need to work hard to bring their own narrative to an already whimsical scene.
They are so close to becoming the winner, potentially. And we've given them an abundance of things to think about today. There's a chessboard, there's extraordinary flora and fauna, there's Italianate architecture. There's so much going on. And I think what we're looking for is the artists to be great editors today. You know, we've given them too much, and they've got to work out what is particular to them.
We've got everything from quite sort of Welsh-looking cottages to Italianate towers. The risk is just taking on too many elements.
I think it's totally discombobulating and mad, so I'm totally thrown by it all.
Every time I look at something, it's something unbelievable and completely out of this world. Del Brunelleschi makes me feel at home. Buddha a little bit less, but...
Artisti. As they say in Italy, buona fortuna. You have, for one last time, 4 hours to complete your challenge, and your time starts now. For today's final, the judges have given our artists an extra half an hour to get out of their pods, explore and sketch this extraordinary scene.
I'm responding through my sensibility to the place. You know, I found the bell tower and these ornamental trees, so they kind of fit with my style.
It's good to get out of the pod. It's magical and it's very strange. It's like being on a film set. I'm going to put some of the beautiful natural landscape behind, a slice of it, in contrast with the clipped topiary.
Yeah, that is what I was looking for. Yes, here. The columnade can be harder to paint, but I think it's pretty good. There are a lot of things to play with.
Back in their pods as the sun comes out and the heat rises, it's time to get comfortable for the day ahead.
Does it go up any higher? Can someone help me? I can't. It's so tough to get up.
Oh no, the bees. There are bees around me. I am scared of bees.
And Helen is trying to get to grips with this Technicolor Fantasyland.
I'll use my normal palette of colours and try and edit some of these crazy colours. I don't like all of them, so I might change some things.
Helen Lloyd-Elliott earned her place in the heats with a luscious painting of a field near her home in Dorset, and impressed the judges with an expressive yet reduced view of Strangford Lough in Northern Ireland.
The way she places colour makes me think of music. It's as if she places these little tones, which are like little musical notes.
At the semi-final at the Thames Barrier, her loose brush marks and thoughtful colour choices earned her a place in the top 3.
In a sense, Helen's just put in the tones and colours, then it conjures the space and the light and everything there. Nothing is defined, really, and I think that's the magic of it, really.
For today's challenge, she's starting to find her way through the riot of architecture surrounding the pods.
Helen, your painting tends to be about tones and colours and about painting itself.
I think I've chosen which bit I'm going to paint, which is this. I actually don't like that building, but I'm going to try and make it a bit more abstract in the middle, and then put the topiary on the left and the estuary in that building there.
The colours are really bizarre,
They are
clashy,
yes.
But doesn't that make interesting things to work with, painting-wise?
Yes, yes, it
Okay,
does. So
okay.
I'll try and get those colours.
I think it's a very cool view. It's nice, but for me, it's already weird because you cannot be weirder than this.
Stefano Ronchi is an artist from Milan in Italy. His submission encapsulates his punk surrealist style. And he won his heat at Castle Ward in Northern Ireland with a landscape swimming with fantastical creatures.
Stefano is not lacking narrative. Yes, it's a sort of a fried egg and it's an eyeball and it's a beast and it's weird, but it's something you just cannot stop looking at.
For the semi-final at the Thames Barrier, his dark sea monster rising from the water assured him a place in the final.
It's almost like he regurgitates a natural landscape and then sends it out, and also the colour pops. The work is phenomenal.
But tackling the already surreal Port Meirion has put him in a very real quandary.
Ciao, Stefano.
Buongiorno.
So these are your initial sketches?
Yes.
Okay, so what have you decided upon?
I included that rock that is quite amazing and epic. And both some building on the background, especially the columnade. And I want to do something here. I'm not sure here, but it looks like a door.
Is it a bit overwhelming to be taken
Yeah.
somewhere that's quite surreal, if you're already quite
100%.
inclined
This is-
towards surrealism?
Yeah. So I need to calm it down, probably.
Is this a penguin on top of this column?
Yeah.
Right. And is there a penguin here?
Well, yeah, I saw it, but he ran away when he saw me.
There's always something soulful about my paintings, and I think it's a result of what's out there and what's in here. The risk today is to make sure that you get enough of the essence of the place and actually leave it a little bit into the imagination.
Campbell Notman won his place in the competition with a melancholic painting of his mother's house in Spain, and impressed the judges with the mood he evoked of Blackpool Beach.
I'm completely entranced by this meandering puddle of silverness, and then this sort of pier that's perched like a crab in the top left-hand corner.
At the semi-final at the Thames Barrier, a timeless landscape assured him a place in the top 3.
I do think it has conjured this kind of historic, vintage, atmospheric quality to it. And all of his works have a very distinct, very successful feeling.
And today he's selecting just a few elements of this busy view to give his painting his characteristic sense of mood.
Ciao, Finn. You've gone for the heart of the thing.
I have. I want to kind of absorb the atmosphere. I really like the bell tower and the cypress. I know that I want bits of that.
Okay.
I also want a little hint of the estuary there. So I'm holding in my mind different viewpoints at the same time.
This is already invented and you're sort of reinventing it, so it's sort of within the spirit of the place.
Hopefully.
It's absolutely beautiful, equally bonkers.
I'm just absolutely cracking up because we basically brought them to the inside of Stefano's mind. I think the pressure is on because they want to win, they're this close. And I think there's 3 artists here who are all quite accomplished before they came to us.
But I've been worried that they're all going to struggle to find something here because it's too mad for Stefano. So he's going to have to play straight, which is what he's doing, although I know the quirk will come in later. Helen, you know, is desperately searching, not for seagulls, but for distance. And she's just about found it, but it's very up close and personal at the moment. And Finn, you know, I want a bit of soul, and I'm not sure he's found it. He's got...
I know, but we always say that about Finn, and then he takes one little thing and gives it the little Finn magic touch. You know, there is a lot of challenge here today, though, because it is extraordinarily hot, and it's sort of a bit unreal. And I think when you look at the paintings today, they might seem believable to us because we're here, but if you weren't here, their painting's going to look completely mad.
They've got to navigate, they've got to find their own landscape here. If we'd given them just a straightforward view, I think it would just be too easy.
With the first hour of the final now up, our artists are feeling the heat in more ways than one.
I'm starting now the columnate. That's pretty tough. 1 hour is gone. Okay.
Because there's so much going on, I've had to do so much editing of what not to include. I'm just sort of blocking in some of the big dark shapes and the shadows.
It's not going too well at the moment, but I'm just trying to get the blocks of colour in. You know, it's just what it is. But I mean, I'm not going to change my view. My view's this now.
In a hidden corner of North Wales, 3 artists are within touching distance of the coveted title of Landscape Artist of the Year. But for Stefano, the combination of the dazzling summer sun and colourful architecture has thrown his plans off course.
So, Stefano, that was blue when you arrived?
Yeah, this color.
Why?
Because I was thinking it was a foggy and rainy day. I checked the weather and I was thinking, you know, too much color, so maybe with the blue I can, you know, slow down.
Cool it down, make it grey.
Exactly. And then you can apply the color. The color that goes on top of the underpainting are, of course, transparent, so it will have a bit of that blue on it.
So it's technically, it's difficult, this?
Yes.
Okay.
It's probably the most difficult since we started.
Well, that's great, because it is the final and we want to test you, see how good you are.
We're in Wales, which is...
You were kind of lost for words there.
I have to keep reminding myself, this is a bizarre, wonderful place.
It's comedic, but also fascinating.
I mean, we are surrounded on all sides by either very well looked after buildings of extraordinary varying styles and also beautifully manicured plants, topiary, a chessboard. There is a lot here.
And actually, to me, it feels very like Toy Town. At the site, everything feels slightly diminutive.
And it's a bit Blazing Saddles, isn't it? Because this is not a building.
That's not a window.
This is flat. There is that feeling to it that you could go behind the buildings and they'd just be held up with wooden struts. There'd be nothing there.
So on all levels, it's a mashup.
It's a potpourri of styles.
This over-perfumed sort of, yeah, potpourri. I think you're absolutely right. Well, we like to test them. Simplification, I think, is the order of the day.
And we should make it clear that when you say over-perfumed and too manicured, you're talking about the view, not me.
Finn. So we've got a very kind of moody, evocative colour palette. In your other works, you've always lavished attention on one little thing, a shadow or a pool of water.
Yeah.
Have we got a one little thing today?
I think the most detail that I will get in terms of painting in the details will be the campanile.
That's the sweet spot.
Exactly. That being the focus. And then as we move out, just slightly less detail.
Well, I think it's off to a really beautiful start, and I think what I'm excited about is being able to capture something which is a distant time and place.
One of my favourite things is to make things timeless.
Yeah.
Because then that opens it up to the audience.
OK, well, good luck creating a timeless Port Meirion. It sort of is that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus, it's hot. I'm just trying to find the right colours, which I haven't yet. Like, the green's very wrong. In fact, yes, nothing is right, but I'm just trying to work out what colours work next to each other and the shade and the flat yellow.
Hi, Helen.
Hi. I think it's a disaster.
Oh, why?
Yes. Well, I mean, look at it.
I am looking at it. I can't see a disaster.
I just think I'm hot and bothered.
You're hot and bothered.
I'm flustered by everybody, and I feel that I've made slight technical errors. But quite a few.
Which are what?
Well, the colours.
The colours.
And the shapes. Maybe I'm just overwhelmed.
You're feeling overwhelmed, and it's quite warm, and a lot of people watching.
Yes, that's quite tricky, isn't it?
Looking covetously at your hat.
They can't have it.
Right. Listen, power on. I'm going to get you an ice cream.
Thank you.
Built over 5 decades between 1925 and 1975, the fantasy tourist village of Port Meirion was the eccentric vision of Welsh architect Clough Williams-Ellis and is now run by his grandson Robin, who remembers visiting as a child.
We used to come down to Port Meirion at the weekends and holidays to go for a picnic on the beach or playing in the woods and so on, and also scrambling up the scaffolding when no one was looking.
For Clough, Port Meirion was a passion project. He wanted to recreate the magic of the Mediterranean in Wales and showcase the rustic architecture that captivated him whilst on holiday in Italy with his wife. But far from being a work of imitation, he melded these Italian styles with other influences, including arts and crafts.
He called it his architectural mongrel. It was a mixture of his own work and other bits and pieces which he cleft up, as they said, until the place became known as the home for fallen buildings.
Clough would travel around the UK collecting fragments of existing buildings, which he had reassembled brick by brick at Port Meirion. The main town hall boasts a 400-year-old Jacobean ceiling, which he bought at auction for £13.
The mainstream architects, they tended to treat him as a lightweight architect of little importance because he was just a pastiche who just built for fun. I think nowadays his ideas have come full circle. Serious architects will look at his work and see what he achieved here. He never built an office block or a factory or anything because he only built what he enjoyed building, really.
For most of its history, Port Meirion's quirky buildings have been used mainly as hotels and holiday lets, and the village now attracts more than 200,000 visitors every year. Today, 3 new structures have appeared for the tourists to admire, prompting the occasional helpful comment from passers-by, as well as loved ones.
And if I were you, I would have a look at this.
I need to finish it.
There's that, and also a few more details.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to resurrect this dog's dinner.
You did buy me an ice cream. That's so kind.
I got you vanilla.
Thank you
All right.
so much.
Enjoy it. As the second hour of today's challenge draws to a close, the pressure of the final is taking its toll.
2 hours gone. Okay. Well, with the color at the moment, it's not going good. It's ugly, ugly, very ugly. But it's normal.
At the moment, it's a total disaster. The building is like a slab of smoked salmon. Off smoked salmon. I am trying to detract from what I've done in the middle of the painting, and I'm now working on the left-hand side.
This is a little bit more sketchy than I would normally do at this stage. I've not put much paint on the canvas yet, but I feel quite relaxed. I'm hopefully not too relaxed.
In the fantasy village of Port Meirion, our Landscape Artist of the Year finalists Finn, Helen and Stefano have been painting for 2 hours.
To use a blue background was not like very clever, but too late. The yellow turned green, the green turned blue, the red turned purple, this kind of problem.
Everything's in support of this focal point where the bell tower and the cypress kind of meet in a sweet spot where I will put a little indication of a figure. So I'm just making sure that all of the things that add up to that rhythm direct your eye to that one little dark figure.
Right.
I see your paintings upside down. I think it looks rather lovely in an abstract point of view. Is that the idea of turning upside down, to look? What are you looking for when you turn it upside down?
Yeah, seeing if the lines worked and if that green worked and if everything kind of had a bit of a rhythm.
You take it out of context, don't you, in a sense, so you can see whether it works, yeah.
Yes.
Well, it looks good from here, upside down.
Let's keep that upside down.
While the finalists have been struggling in today's rocketing temperatures, our ice-cool judges have been keeping a careful eye on progress. Well, it's a very pleasant place to spend a summer's day in. However, I get the feeling it's not quite as relaxing for our 3 finalists.
No, I think they're really feeling it. And I think each of our artists are trying to find the view that makes it a landscape for them.
Stefano's approach today, with his usual intensity, that energy, slight mania, how's he getting on?
This is a very eccentric place, so there's a concern that it's sort of eccentricity upon eccentricity, and I think he made excellent decisions, and what he's done is give us a pretty traditional view. He hasn't sort of presented the world upside down or through the eyes of a monster. It is what we're seeing, it's Port Meirion. But within that are all these lovely Stefano-isms, and they're getting stronger. And, you know, I think as the afternoon progresses, he's going to take it to the next level, which I think he needs to do. I think if it's too traditional, we'll all be a bit staggered. Am I worried that there's an element of it being a little bit boring?
Boring?
Yeah.
Stefano?
What I'm getting is kind of post-apocalyptic Port Meirion. It looks like, 2,000 years hence, there's very little of it left.
Helen, I spoke to not so long ago, and I felt like talking someone off a ledge. She was really, really down on her painting.
I think Helen's one of those artists who's always hard on herself. And I think it's always that fight, that unhappiness with what she's got in front of her. You know, just talking to her now, she said it's a mess. And I was thinking, cool, I like that mess on my wall. It's gorgeous. The colours are great. Really like the shape. She's got this fantastic view, this escape route through to the estuary, which is beautiful.
I mean, it's quite interesting that Helen chose a building that she really didn't like. She said, it was her way into this place was a bit of colour and end of a building she thought quite ugly and difficult to deal with. And I think that's a very interesting way to get round or through all this.
I mean, I actually was so worried about her, I bought her an ice cream.
Oh.
Now then, Finn, how's he doing today?
I think Finn's interesting because he wants to do something which is sort of timeless. I realise it's not always in the past. It can sometimes be sort of this place in the future as well. It's quite ambitious to set yourself such a task that you want to have a painting which is all about atmosphere.
I always feel that, especially with him, he needs to get stuff on the canvas to work with it. He's sitting and thinking about it and sort of touching it sort of very tentatively is not going to get it moving forward, so I'm worried.
And of course, after the semi-final, we sent our 3 finalists off to paint commissioned landscapes, which we'll see for the first time later. That's going to have a big bearing, I'd imagine, on your decision.
I've got no front runners, so I'm really relying on the commissions to help me in making the decision.
In the run-up to the final, we set our artists another challenge: to create an artwork in their own time, showing the judges what they can do when they're not restricted by a 4-hour time limit.
What the artists produce today is really important. We're really looking forward to seeing it, of course, but it's those commissions. They're like the icing on the cake, and they can change everything because we get to see the artists at full throttle with time at their disposal and really trying to sort of show us who they are as an artist in a more 360-degree sense.
The judges have asked them to explore a truly unique corner of the Kent coast.
I've been in some place like this, but in video games.
Yeah.
This reminds me of a video
Yeah, this
game
is a
I've
video
played.
game brought to life. Certainly isn't a field in Dorset, is it?
I wonder what it's like to live here, though. That must be really odd.
The stark, windswept, pebbled beach at Dungeness provides a refuge for rare birds and plants, but it's also home to 2 nuclear power stations, a collection of cottages and lighthouses, and it has the largest expanse of shingle in Europe. The judges have given each artist a different challenge. Stefano's view is the imposing nuclear power stations, former industrial sites built in the 1960s.
Oh my God. The weirdest place I've probably ever seen. Never even know this place exists in England.
Finn has been sent to explore the area around the iconic Prospect Cottage, former home to filmmaker Derek Jarman.
Actually, I've been here maybe 40 years ago on the little Romney Hythe and Dymchurch Railway, which runs behind Prospect Cottage, but I didn't recognize it when I got here. There's not a great deal around it, so I feel like I have to do the cottage. Yeah, interesting, and it's a nice day for it.
And Helen is looking around the industrial fishing area.
I am very overwhelmed by this, and it's not something I would ever choose to paint, and I immediately know I'm not going to paint the sea, and I really don't like painting boats. So I'm going to face this way. Nope, I think I've got my view. I think I'm going to do this. Or this.
I've just found, I think, what will be the composition, because the cottage is now nicely framed into the first third of the picture. Prospect Cottage has a little of the Old West about it as well. It's kind of this collision of Old Western architecture with British seaside architecture. So that's kind of a nice story developing in there.
It's a bit scary, I don't know. I have too much imagination, but the nuclear plant is the perfect background for a composition of other things I like.
Having got their bearings, it's time to start sketching.
Drawing is actually the thinking on the page, so what I'm doing is trying to find the sort of major elements and sort of orchestrate them while being alive to things that I kind of want to happen.
I'm just trying to get down the scale of things, so then I can just block things out to almost remind me of what I'm doing. It's not something I would normally paint. I suppose living in Dorset, which is very beautiful and lush, I paint what's outside my back door. And so this is very interesting.
Now I need something for the foreground. So if I look there, there's this very nice little wooden house that looks like a dog house, I don't know. But I thought it was perfect to start the story. This is just the first draft, so maybe you can change everything.
I'm not quite getting the colours right by a long shot, but it might just remind me when I'm home.
A moment just happened where the cherry on top, the Romney Hythe and Dymchurch Railway passing by, and now look, this line of story is going all the way through here.
I'm quite happy. I have already in my mind the painting, actually.
Having spent the day exploring, our 3 artists return to their individual studios to complete their paintings. The finished pieces will be judged alongside the artworks they produce by the end of today's challenge. Stefano.
Hello.
You have a real energy to you. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm sweating and fighting.
You're Italian. I mean, does this feel like home to you?
Yeah.
That, to me, looks like, so far, quite a traditional Not, you know, straightforward landscape.
Yeah.
When is the Stefano of it?
I want to play with something I never played with before. The clouds.
Ah, as that's the extra ingredient.
See, because I can be very weird with my clouds.
I'm sure, that I don't doubt. Over in Helen's pod, a breakthrough.
This has transformed since this morning. There was a real reduction in a flatness, which was very cool looking. And you've kept that, but you've also introduced a lot more of the features of Port Meirion without overdoing it. So have you got any areas that you really want to focus your attention on?
I think I've got to sort out this, because I put a window in and it looked awful, so I've now rubbed it out.
Is there anything you're not going to touch, actually, Helen? That's quite interesting to know.
Ooh.
Is there any kind of, like, areas that are no-go?
Well, I thought that was an OK colour.
OK.
But then I smudged it by mistake.
High praise indeed from Helen to herself. That bit was OK.
No.
You doing all right?
I feel like I'm really behind. Everything feels very loose and undefined. I don't think I've quite got the colours right. I'm hurrying, so I'm kind of making mistakes.
Okay.
Going to quickly put in the shadows of these plants and then go back onto those buildings.
As the third hour of the competition draws to a close, it's a race to get in those all-important details.
Columnate. It's very bad how I did it. I don't like the yellow, they are too much brighter. Probably, let's see, if I can do this fast, maybe I can fix something.
I've got more paint on me than on the canvas. I think I've made an error with the pink house, especially with the frou-frou little trimming and the white and the white lady. So I'm trying to lose that in a way with everything else.
Hurrying as much as I possibly can. I'm now putting in those details that I think might put it all together. Windows, the turret, the green shutters. Even though my strategy was to simplify it, I've got lots of different things to orchestrate. If nothing else, it certainly has an atmosphere. So that's something.
In Port Meirion, our three finalists are in the last hour of their landscape challenge. By the end of the day, one of them will be awarded the prestigious £10,000 prize commission.
Wow, you've done so much. Is this when we're going to see more eyeballs and strange shapes appearing?
That's the time.
Slightly less than we've seen before, would you say, is that fair?
Yeah.
I think I might have bitten off a bit more than I can chew. But it still has a bit of perhaps narrative in it and definitely a bit of atmosphere.
Just trying to do the palm tree, but the light keeps changing. So anyway, I'll just keep going till you say stop.
Artists, chi gyda 5 munud ar ôl. That's Welsh for you have 5 minutes left.
5 minutes.
At least, I hope that's what it means.
I'm not kind of really thinking, I'm just sort of finishing it. Yes.
I will get to a finish and that'll be okay.
Artists, for the last time, your 4 hours is up. Please put down your equipment and step away from your easels.
I've had a great day. It's great doing something out of your comfort zone. Really enjoyed hanging out with Stefano and Finn.
It's big anxiety because, you know, you're very close to the end.
Overwhelming, thoroughly enjoyable and exhausting.
While the artists take a moment to unwind and enjoy the sunshine, it's time for the judges to take a look at their commission paintings.
Oh, that is incredible.
I love them.
all great.
Guys, Stefanos has got a magnifying glass. Oh, this is a first. This is so exciting. Let's say T-Rex,
OK.
of course.
OK, yeah. All right.
Seagull.
I'm just glad that he manages to expel all these beasts from his brain.
For us to deal
For
with.
us to deal with and conquer, yeah.
And there's no beach, so there's no respite. It's just absolutely action-packed with pretty grim things.
But blue sky, bright blue sky, like, what's wrong with this picture? There's nothing wrong with this picture.
That shows him to be a bit more of a sophisticated storyteller than we've seen so far, I'd say.
It's technically brilliant as well. It's
It is.
extraordinary.
I love Dungeness. I love the nuclear plant. Some weird stuff going on. I like the story it told.
We've never seen Helen push so far into abstraction, and she is extremely accomplished at really bringing things down to the absolute bare essentials. I mean, look at the front there. I mean, if you took that in isolation, what is it? But actually, it is a fantastic representation of the extraordinarily strange scrubland at Dungeness.
But it's still really, really beautiful and very aesthetically pleasing. You know, you've got the wonderful foreground, that lovely zip of buildings, and then this glorious sky that takes up 2/3 of the canvas.
I thought Dungeness was extraordinary, quite brutal, but also very beautiful. So the longer I was there, the more I appreciated it, actually.
It's interesting to see Finn, because he really has got an awful lot more here than we've ever seen. Even his submission wasn't as worked as this. I thought he might actually pull back, but he's really leaned in, so you get this very complete scene, and of course we're exactly there, down to every pebble, it feels like.
It does feel a bit like we're in the Wild West, I have to say. It's partly to do with the tonality, so I can feel like there should be tumbleweed. Everything looks the same. You travel for a very long way, and I feel that in Finn's painting, I'm travelling across it.
I have been missing this about Finn's work. There's been a fragmentary nature to his work during the heats, and he never has enough time to really give us what he gave us in the submission.
The cottage, that was the view. So again, I had to cheat things in to make a story inherent in that landscape.
The judges now take a look at our finalists' commission paintings alongside their artworks from today. I think this is my favourite moment in the whole of landscape, is when we get the 3 commissioned landscapes and we sit them next to the finalists' work of the day. Are you pleased with what you see?
Pleased, my goodness. I mean, we couldn't ask for more. Look at the quality of what we've got in front of us. It's tremendous.
So, Stefano very consciously thought of them as a pair.
Yeah.
And you can see that.
With that open door and then that little hut, I feel like Doctor Who is somehow present, has stepped in and out of these other alien worlds, and we're being transported with him and Stefano. I think they work well as a diptych. You know, you've got that fantastic telegraph pole on the left-hand side, echoed in the tree here on the right-hand side. How clever of him to conceive of those 2 works in that way, while he didn't have the other one in front of him.
To produce a pendant piece that isn't just a mirror image, but using the colonnades behind us as a reference to the slits in the power station. I mean, to keep that in mind and play with opposites at the same time as working on the final is just extraordinary.
I think his work today is one of my favourite Stefano pictures, because he understood that this place was surreal and fantastical enough, and that actually he's showing us that he can pare back and still be a great storyteller. In many ways, it looks kind of like an ancient place. It makes me think of like a grand tourist, or someone looking at a really old place with very loving eyes.
So from the surreal mind of Stefano, we move to a beautiful colourist in Helen.
You don't realise that that beautiful, inviting sand is actually hard pebbles, and that's what she brings to the picture. She brings a sort of beauty and aestheticism to it. Again, we've got that colour, you're bouncing around. There's something very exotic about this work. I am transported to the Mediterranean. It's almost as if I'm looking at a little chapel to the Virgin Mary, and then a beautiful bay in the distance once I've walked through the palm trees. It's totally enchanting.
There's just something really joyous about them both. They're very buoyant paintings, you know, they kind of delight in the stuff of paint. And I love seeing all of this sky compared to almost no sky today. So it's great being able to see her operate on those 2 different scales.
And in a way, you know, maybe it's the sun that's beating down us, but I'm transported somewhere more tropical, actually.
Yes, it is more tropical.
Now, someone who does really relish almost empty spaces is Finn.
It's so fascinating seeing him compared to the other 2 artists, because what he does is so sort of dry and arid, and it's about scarcity or things which are sparse. And in all of that absence comes meaning and atmosphere. And what I love about Finn is that he definitely takes you on a journey in his paintings. He understands how you're going to read it, and he sort of directs you to do that, and that's quite important. And I think that's something that makes his work quite distinct.
You suddenly realise, in giving us very little, we're having to go to creep in ourselves and try to work things out. Is that a door or is that a person at the end there?
It's a person.
I think it's a person,
It is a person.
and it doesn't irritate me. I think it's actually quite spectacular. That's a kind of a first.
So,
No, but he's always looking for soul, you know, and his works are about soul and mood.
But are you in the same position as me, which is that I was arriving today saying, right, we've got 3 fantastic finalists, we're going to be very difficult to choose, then 3 great paintings from today. I mean, all of a very, very similar standard. And then you get these 3 commissions and you're like, well, this doesn't really help.
You have to make a decision. There can only be one landscape artist of the year, and you 3 are the king or queen makers. Stefano, Helen, Finn, thank you for all your hard work and dedication throughout this series. All 3 of you are hugely talented artists, but the judges have come to their final decision. The winner of Landscape Artist of the Year is... Finn Campbell Notman.
To win is, it's going to take a little while to absorb. I can't wait to go and call my partner and my mum and, how did it go? Did you win? Did you win? And I can say, yes, I won.
I'm feeling completely delighted for Finn, and I feel really delighted to, to be in the final. So to me, that's just fabulous.
I'm a bit relieved. I don't know. I feel like, I should not be so happy, but I'm kind of happy. I'm surprised of this.
it's been an amazing day, hasn't it?
It's been an amazing day, and Finn, right from the start, he's been taking us on that little route along with him, touching our souls, making us feel the mood.
Deeply atmospheric work and very filmic. I'm starting to think of them more as these little set pieces where drama can unfold. But then it's going to be a big deal. I mean, he's about to do a £10,000 commission.
That's where I think we've picked the right artist. I think he's perfect because we know he can paint, create atmosphere. He's got that sort of palette that connects art history but brings it, forward.
Yeah.
But then he just does his stuff and he won't be sort of coward, and that's...
Winning combination.
We've sent a wonderful artist forth.
I've never won a single thing in my life, not even coconut shine. So to win something finally, it's at last I can say that I've won something.
Next time, Finn's journey takes him to Holland, where he'll follow in the footsteps of Dutch fathers of seascape painting, the Van der Velders. He'll immerse himself in their rich history, taking to the waterways and cycle paths of the Netherlands, with old friends and new.
Cheers.
And create a truly ambitious landscape for Royal Museums Greenwich.
We can't wait any longer, Finn, so come along.
Ready?
Okay.